I've already talked about the two guys from this Heat versus Suns game that pretty much showcased the most offensively, 60 points from Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero combined. But there are two more guys that I want to talk about that need to be discussed from this win. One of them is Omer Yurtseven, and the other one is Erik Spoelstra. And they pretty much go hand in hand in this one. I just want to go through some of the things we saw from them. Erik Spoelstra has shown that he's not afraid to make adjustments in big games. Something I've talked about is that he's almost been more creative, has made more bigger adjustments, different adjustments, unique adjustments against the better teams in this league, and it's why they've been so good against many of these teams. So I just want to go and start with the main one, which was against the Suns, and it was the way they utilized Omer Yurtseven as a playmaker, something they haven't done up to this point, and it worked. So I just want to go through the start right here. You're going to see them use Omer in a similar way on this first one. It's just him as a roller, but they kind of use him as a gateway into other things. You need to find gateways in a time where you don't have Bam, you don't have Jimmy, you don't have them to kind of utilize inside the paint, inside the perimeter a bit, and kind of get guys going from that mid post. They don't have that, so they have to find different ways. So now what they're doing is, first of all, they're utilizing two of their biggest offensive threats on the floor to their advantage and maximizing their strengths. So the first one is Kyle Lowry, who's just going to work the pick and roll, and he does what he does best, which is just keep defenders off his back, keep them on his back, and kind of just make guys have to make decisions on the other side of things. So now they're playing drop. DeAndre Ayton kind of has to step up because it's such a unique spot. We're going to see Omer plant inside that dunker spot right under the rim, and it's not something we're used to as well. He's usually just a complete roller. If not, he's going to get in position for an offensive rebound. Right here, he plants himself here. The reason is because when Ayton steps up, as you're going to see right here, he's going to feed him inside. But right here, Chris Paul's going to step over, and that's when I talk about the second guy that they're utilizing. Their biggest strength is Max Strus. They're planning him in that corner because they have to help down. There's no other way about it. So Omer is that gateway. What he does, kicks out to Max Strus, and it's a good look from three. Starts off the game pretty well. So that was just the normal first one. I want to go into the second one right here. They're basically running Chicago action, which is something Nikias actually pointed out on Twitter. I'm going to show it at the next play. But it's interesting because they're utilizing Omer as the handoff guy. Their Chicago action is just the pin down. We're going to see with Strus and PJ into a handoff. Omer is the handoff guy. And the interesting thing about it is that's usually been PJ. PJ's usually been that handoff guy. But the reason why it's so important to kind of shift that look is, as we're going to see right here, the pin down. Look how much space Max Strus just got off that handoff, all because of a PJ Tucker basically offensive lineman type block, because he screens off them off so well. They were going to fight through it first. He goes through, and it's in the best look you could possibly get on a play like that. That just shows the art of PJ Tucker, just how he's able to move around. But it's also, once again, to tie back to Erik Spoelstra, not having to force PJ Tucker into that playmaking mode every single night. He's basically been in that same exact role. It's almost been predictable for a lot of teams because when you don't have Bam and Jimmy, as I said before, it's Kyle's perimeter play in his passing, his high assist numbers. But when it's not in the hands of Kyle setting things up, it's been in the hands of PJ from that wing three. He has his back to the basket, and they kind of work a lot of things from the weak side, just a ton of off-ball movement. And that's been their only other way of offense to kind of create things. Omer Yurtseven's opening this up is the reason it's so huge. Just go to the next one. It's pretty much the same exact play of Chicago action, but as you're going to see right here, Cam Johnson's going to jump out and block it off. They know what's coming. They just saw it, as I just showed it pretty much a couple seconds ago. So now he blocks it off, and what does Max Strus do? He changes it up, and he reads it. He clears out, and as you're going to see right here, usually what you would do is PJ would pop out. He would stay in the corner and kind of rise up. Right here, when this isn't a go, PJ surprise back cuts here, and it's an easy layup. Like that is, once again, it is a lot on PJ Tucker, but for Omer to sit there on the perimeter and be able to make those reads and wait it out and kind of just choose when to go, that's not something we've seen up to this point. And it's a lot to do with Omer, his pure ability, but it's also just wild to see Erik Spoelstra pretty much put that type of trust in him immediately. The last one, something I just talked about, is how they would kind of go through PJ in the offense. And this is exactly the look it would be. It would be right here. PJ would get it in that mid-post area. He'd turn around to play make, and there's four guys, four legitimate floor spacers, movers, shooters to put on that weak side, which is just an incredible offensive threat to have on the floor. But the reason it's maximized is because they put that trust in Omer to make these passes and make these reads. So as I go back one more time, you're going to see just how they kind of create things on this weak side. As we go right here first, we're going to see Duncan Robinson clear through. That's the first option. You're going to see Caleb cut down. He's going to revert back. Kyle Guy inserted the pass, and he's looping out to corner as Caleb rises up. As you're going to see right here, who's the last option. It's Tyler Hero in the middle of the floor that didn't even move till the last second. It's an easy layup. Like, it's constant off-ball movement for this team when you're without so many of these guys. But most of all, this is just an Erik Spoelstra masterclass because he's put the ball in the hands of Omer in a way that the Suns could not have predicted. There was nothing on a scouting report to say that they were going to work offense through him. He came up big with that. I think it was 7 assists in the first half through that type of play. It's not a coincidence that Miami's franchise night for threes made is the night that they basically shift the entire offense into an unpredictable mode with Omer Yurtseven handoffs and hitting on back cuts and hitting on sprays. Like, this is not a coincidence. Erik Spoelstra deserves all the credit from this one. And this won't be the last time we say something like that.